Hello and welcome. Today, bit of a different video because of course I'm talking in this one, so it's all a bit weird. So be a little bit gentle, so to speak. Today I'm a little bit bored, so I'm in the garage and I just feel like I want to use my welder for something because I've only used it a couple of times for just random stuff. I fixed the panels on my Volvo one time with it. If you've watched the other video, you'll see the filler and all that. That was panels or patches welded over the rust holes. Anyway, so with this video, what I plan to do is use this old tool handle I got, found in my dad's toolbox, and this piece of metal, and just try and make a file out of them somehow. Not a file, a chisel, because at the moment, oops, it's probably a bit loud, just using like these little grotty things, and they're fine, but they're a little bit narrow. It's not in focus, but hey, they're a little bit narrow, and I kind of want wider ones for like scraping paint and stuff off of old horribly rusty cars, which is pretty much all I'm going to use it for. But it's useful because both my cars are rusty, so yeah, we're going to use these two little things, make a tool out of them. Right, so let's get started. Right then, so to begin with, what I want to do is just use the like pre-existing threads on this tool handle to somehow connect that to it. So initially I thought about getting like a nut, sorry, let me just focus that there, getting a nut, screwing the nut over the end and then welding the nut to the end, to the this little piece somehow. The plan was then I could like create interchangeable like tool heads for the handle, but I realised the threads, I don't know if you can see it. Let's try and zoom in a bit. Whoop. If you can see, the threads are a little bit shagged, so I don't think that's really going to work. They're a little bit cross-threaded, and when I did try and put a bolt on, it didn't really work as I planned, so that's not going to happen. So instead, if I bring it back out, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut down the centre of this, so down the centre of that, the threads poking out, at the thickness of this piece of metal. Hopefully then I can slot the piece of metal into there and then weld it all up, and I'll have this whole bit as a file. I keep calling it a file, it's not, it's going to be a chisel. But with this bit, what I think I might do is cut it down a little bit so it's a little bit shorter rather than this long, because I feel like if it's that long it's going to be a teeny little bit big. But I'll see how I get on. But yeah, so to begin with, I'm going to cut this down the centre at the thickness of that piece of metal, and yeah, I'll try and film it, but I'm not sure how well it's going to go because I'm too lazy and I've left my tripod upstairs, so I'm going to have to hand hold it. But yeah, see you in a bit. Right, that didn't go particularly well. I was well, I didn't have anything to steady it with because I ain't got the little grab it. Oh, got caught the bike handle. I ain't got the little handle on the side of the grinder, so I was trying to do it a little bit freehand, and that wasn't working. So I reckon I'm gonna chuck this on, and then try and do it again, and maybe set up a light from the other side so I can see what I'm doing. Right, so I'm gonna try this again. Hopefully it'll go a little bit better this time. Getting through it then anyway, so that was better. Right, let's try and just make this a little bit higher up, do it up a bit tighter. Hopefully it won't move because it was moving that time. Try that in, go again. So that worked a lot better with it all fixed in place. As you can see, I got through. I had to make 2 passes. I've only got a 1mm cutting disc on there at the moment, so I had to do more than one because that is of course more than 1mm thick. Then the plan is that will slot together like, if I could line it up like that. When I get it going, I got to get this little piece out in the middle right there. Got to get that bit out so that this will slide in freely. But yeah, so far so good. I reckon what I'll do is I'll slide it in, hammer these bits together, just so it's a little bit tighter on this, and then weld it up. And then I can shape this end, shape the other end, make it like a little bit, because at the moment it's just square. But I'll make it a proper point, just so it's a little bit more scrapey. Right, back again. So I'm going to use a chisel, I think, just the other chisel. It's a bit of a joke. To get this piece out, hopefully. If I just like wiggle it about, maybe I can snap it out. Not sure how that's going to go. Felt like it was going, or maybe I was just stretching 2 pieces apart. Sorry, I keep taking it out of frame, don't I? Not easy. Right, let me do this off camera. It's probably going to be a little bit easier, but you see what I'm trying to do. You can see I've managed to get the little bit of metal in the end of there. There's a little bit of a gap. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you can. And there's a tiny bit of a gap. That's just where at the bottom it's not as thick as the top. Well, I don't think the gap's not as thick. I think it's just that the metal at the bottom's thicker, so it's not allowing it to bend. But whereas at the top it's bending out to allow the piece of metal in. You can see as well that I made this a lot shorter. I think for me personally, I feel like shorter and fatter is going to be a little bit more useful compared to that, for instance. Just because it allows you to get into like wheel arches and stuff and really get all the rust in the paint that you want to that you want to scrape off. So just broke it. It's still a little bit hot, but so now what we're going to do is prep this for welding and also prep this. I think I might just leave the gap in the end. Don't really mind, because if I whack this into place as well, I'm sure once I've got this down to bare metal, I can hammer it in once I've got it in place. It should fit okay. First off, what I've done is swap down the 1mm cutting disc for I don't know if you're going to be able to see that very well. There you go, a 40 grit flappy disc. It's just like sandpaper. Stuck it on the grinder, of course. I've got the piece of metal in the vise there, and what we're going to do is just bare metal this using this little thing. So let me just quickly put the mic on. I've got the welder set up now, and got the piece set up there. I'm just going to weld down this side, probably just tack it, flip it round, do the same on the other side. Hopefully I can get a decent weld. I'm not really sure what settings to use, so I'm just going to wing it, but max 1 probably seems okay, I think. I'm not sure what amperage that is, and then like 4 on the wire speed. I'm not really sure, to be honest, which is why I'm doing this, because it's just a bit of fun. And it's good practice before I do anything that matters with the welder. Right then, so I finished the welds. They're not the nicest, of course, but it's gasless MIG and I'm not really sure what I'm doing. So the first ones I started on, the settings got min 1 or max 1. Oh, apparently I set it back. I had it on max 1, then went to min 1, then set it back to max 1 apparently. But yeah, this side didn't turn out too good. Let me just zoom way down. Yeah, see, that's not brilliant. And there's that side, which also isn't brilliant, but it's pretty solid. Like, it's not breaking. I'm putting a fair amount of weight on that. That's good, that's what I wanted. I'm just going to clean them up, but yeah, just so you know, that's what they look like before. They weren't pretty, but they're strong enough, so that's all that matters. Well, at the moment anyway, I don't really care what it looks like. So I'm going to clean them up, and then probably flatten this end a bit, because at the moment I think when you're scraping it's just going to get the corners are going to touch, not the piece in the middle. So yeah, I'll just sort that out and then see how we get on. I finished grinding down the welds now. They're still not, where have I got focus? There you go. Still not pretty, still pretty ugly. You can see here I've shaped it a little bit so it's flatter on one side than it is on the other. It's just like the normal chisel. I should have really just flattened or just beveled off one end, like one side, so say this side, beveled it down to a point so it was actually like a chisel, but I've done it this way instead and it works pretty good. I've tested it on my old GTI, well, my old Rallye rear axle, scraping the paint off that, and it works pretty good. Yeah, so it's ugly, but it works. It's quite nice. I like it because when you hold it, you can put your fingers on it like that, and you can get some good leverage behind it as you're scraping. So yeah, I've like ground all the cover on it, cover the coating on the steel or whatever it was. So it's probably not ideal. It's gonna rust definitely, but I don't really mind. It's just a little thing. If I let me focus on it, you know, look. There you go. So yeah, it was just a bit of fun. Good little project. It's gonna come in handy for me. And really let me practice my welding, which is what I wanted to do. Right, so there we go. That's the end of the video really. Probably wasn't that exciting to a lot of you, but it was just something to do, and it gets me to start doing the videos before I start making them on the 306 Rallye. Maybe some videos on the Volvo if I don't get rid of it, but yeah, this was the outcome. It's not too bad. I'm gonna use it. It's gonna be good. The next video you should see is hopefully me fixing some of the holes on the Rallye, getting some patches made up, ready to be welded, but I just want to get some gas for the welder before I do that because it's going to be on the sheet metal and it's a lot thinner. And I blew through the threads on that as I was welding it, so, and that's on the lowest setting, so I'm definitely going to have to get some gas and hopefully do all that. But yeah, hope you enjoyed, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one.